the rough's up and the wind blows, if it's firm and fast, it could play very, very tough. I think it'll be a really tough challenge, and today, I'll get a pretty good taste of it today, even though it's damp. If it's challenging weather conditions, it's going to be a very challenging course. Really, our biggest earth moving in a fairway was the first hole, because you walked up to the first tee and you just saw a hill. You didn't know where to go or what was up there. Tried to define that, tried to show you where the fairway was, where to hit it, where not to hit it. There was a lot of just big wide open expanses, and we tried to narrow your focus a little bit. Give it more of a Shinnecock kind of look, or Oakmont look, now that they've cut down all their trees, where it may be a wide open field, but you saw exactly where the architects intended you to go. We changed some bunkering, made it a little bit easier to get to the fairway, and the shorter hitter or the average guy, maybe it's the fairway's a little wider, a little better defined, and then farther out around the corners or over the hills made it a little more challenging for the long hitter, that he can't cut corners and just hit it willy-nilly and get away with it. A lot of the bunkers were beautiful, traditional, linksy looking, and then some of them were just plain and flat. So we got all the bunkers to kind of match up, and took out a few, added a few, straightened out a few holes off the tee. There were awkward dog legs, and I think overall made the course it has a better flow to it now. For the tour players, it's not going to be a short golf course, but the greens have enough slope to them that it's going to be pretty challenging. So I think it's going to be, I think it'll get very, very good reviews for the tour pros. I know that they'll complain about how deep the rough is, but that's the only complaint they could have. The greens, they're fine. They're very challenging. If anything, we might have flattened them out, but we learned that up here, if the greens are too flat in the winter, that they'll freeze up. And so the challenge is going to be hitting fairways and putting your ball in a position on the greens where you can make putts, because they are very challenging greens. And hard and fast and dry is going to be a tough Canadian Open. Well, I like to have plenty of room off the tee, and plenty of room for the people who don't carry the ball 300 yards, have a way for them to play. You don't want a lot of forced carries. I think the average guy plays along the ground a lot more, and so I try to not have forced carries, not make you carry water or cross bunkers to get to a green, and just realize that not everybody flies the ball 300 yards, and it has precision iron shots that people do top it and run it and scull it, and you have to keep play moving and make it fair for everybody.
For tickets to the Canadian Open, visit thecanadianopen.ca or call 1-800-571-OPEN. That's 1-800-571-6736.